Hi, this is Swathiramya, Assistant Professor, AIDS Department. You're here with me in Operating System and Virtualization lecture series. In this video, we are going to discuss about CPU scheduling and why the CPU scheduling is needed. Let me start from the first. CPU scheduling is a process used by the operating system to decide which task or a process gets to use the CPU at a particular time. This is very important because a CPU can only handle only one task at a time. Okay, so but there are usually large number of tasks are waiting in the queue for the CPU time. But there are usually many tasks that need to be processed at the same time. That's the ultimate goal of the CPU. So we would have some scheduling methods to decide which process to be taken from the queue and process first. We should have some order of taking the process from the queue and process the task at that particular time. So the ultimate goal of the CPU scheduling is to maximize the CPU utilization and minimize the response and waiting time of the process. That is the ultimate goal of the CPU scheduling. So let's discuss why CPU scheduling is needed. Only one process, you know very well, as I told you before, the process can handle, the CPU can handle only one process at the time. So we have to implement the multi-processing at the same time. We have to give the feeling of that multi-process has been running in the system. So we have to use the CPU properly to make it possible. So first reason is only one process can use the CPU at the time. So multiple processes compete for CPU. So the next reason would be multiple process compete or waiting for the CPU. So we should have the methods to analyze and pick the right process for the CPU type, and also to improve the system performance. When it comes for the CPU time, CPU utilization, the entire system performance depends on the CPU performance and the CPU process time, waiting time, everything. So to improve the system performance, we should have the right methodology to pick the process, to pick the task from the queue. So to improve the system performance, we should have the right methodology, right CPU scheduling method. Then to provide the quick response to the user will be waiting for the CPU time. User should not wait for the CPU time for the long time. They should be responded at the right time. So to avoid the response time by the user to the user, we should have the right methodology, CPU, that is CPU scheduling methods. Okay, and also to avoid the starvation and the CPU ideal time. So for these all purposes, definitely we need the CPU scheduling. Let's discuss about the CPU scheduling criteria. What all the criteria will be needed for the CPU scheduling. CPU utilization. There are 6 criteria there for a CPU scheduling criteria. That is, I'll start from the first. CPU utilization, that is, we have to keep the CPU as busy as possible. That is, we should not give resting time or ideal time for the CPU. Only then we can use the CPU CPU has been utilized properly. So CPU utilization is the first criteria here. Next is throughput, that is number of the process completed per unit time. For a single unit time, what all the performance has been completed, that also be taken into the account. That is called the throughput. That is the second criteria for CPU scheduling. Third criteria is turnaround time, total time taken from the process submission to the completion. Total time taken, that is the process entered into the waiting queue, and the time of completion, that is the turnaround time. That is, it's almost like a waiting time plus completion time. Okay, that is turnaround time. Then waiting time. Fourth thing is waiting time. Total time a process spends in a ready queue. Once the process enters into the ready queue, how many number of times it is waiting in the queue, that is called waiting time. Total time taken by the process that is waiting in the ready queue. Next is response time. The time from the process submission to the first response, that is, it is very very important. Response time, in the how many number of milliseconds it's got its response, that is response time. Last but not least, that is fairness. Ensures that all the process gets the right chance to run their program or complete their task, that is fairness. These all criteria has to be taken into the account, and we have to pick our CPU scheduling methods. This is how the basic criteria we need to taken into the consideration. Okay, what is the need for CPU scheduling algorithm? CPU scheduling is the process of deciding, as I told you, it's the process of deciding which process will own the CPU to use while another process is suspended. The main function of CPU scheduling is to ensure that whatever the CPU remains ideal, the OS has at least selected one of the process available in the ready to use line. Okay, thank you.